Like, they didn't change it. It's a 7-2 field. You can control a lot of things when you know where the bowler's going to bowl. And, okay, it's easier in these kind of slightly helpful... But it's kind of a bit old school, isn't it? It's sort of mid-90s cricket. But Brandon McMullen's so effective. Keeper up to the stumps. What do you do if you're the batter?
Bertel decided he was going to slog sweep him, and he did that really well for a couple of balls. And the thing is, with cross up, they can't come down to negate the swing. And you see there, just he is like a crouching tiger. I have to ask you as well, as we see the end of the over 4 from McMullen gone, 8 overall. 35 for 3. You've got the Tiger and you've got the Iceman. Have you given any other nicknames to any of the players?
Yeah, it's KC's the folk hero.
A folk hero, okay.
Yeah, but that was in place long before obviously he's known as a Valentine's Day boy as well. And that has to have evolved into the Valentine's Day man now at his ripe old age due to his heroics on February 14th. The Butwell boss is Kushal Bertel for his kind of dominant way in which he bats. He's from Butwell originally. Bim Sharkey's known as Jonty for his aptitude with his fielding. They do love a nickname in Nepal. Full toss helped into the leg side. But they've stuck on the back of his jersey M.A. Jones to differentiate him from
Michael
Jones, who has M. Jones on his jersey. Different number, obviously, but another lovely drive, and number 59 tumbles. You just see it there. That's the man we want to get a look at. See if we can see the back of his jersey. M.A. Jones, they've stuck on that. There it is there. Interesting one, isn't it? Number 59 for Evermore. Cap number 700 in total for Scotland. It's 58 for 3.
I like that, because we've got 2 A sheikhs in this Nepal side as well.
Well, they just go Arif and Asif. That's what they do on the back of their jersey.
Well, yeah, but when you look on a scorecard, often when I'm looking on the scorecard, I'm like, hang on.
Which one is it?
Which one's which? Which one's which? So
yeah,
I like anything that makes it easy to differentiate, is what I'm saying.
McMullen has bowled 6. I wonder, will he bowl a 7th or not? But yeah, Mel, just to touch on that MCC conference, it's called World Cricket Connects, run for the 2nd time. There's another flowing drive. He's going to get down the hill and nearly to the rope, but big Mackenzie Jones does well, doesn't he? In action aplenty right now, and the ball following him somewhat.
Yeah, it is. He can't get away from it. But he did very, very well. I thought that one was definitely going for 4. That's the thing. You get these new pups into the side and they're full of beans, aren't they? They want to impress.
Full of beans. Don't want to be over enthusiastic though. We had poor young Jordan Neal, the 19-year-old debut for Ireland. A similar incident, dislocated shoulder, trying to with over enthusiastically fielding down there, but a great stop. Okay, to get to MCC World Cricket Connects, 2nd day of it is today. The Pat Cummins and Elise Perry, and big focus on the women's game today. But I was asked to go down yesterday, so did that quick dash down. Firstly, incredibly well put on by the Marylebone Cricket Club. You're at the home of cricket. It's incredibly iconic. About 140, 150 of kind of the most key decision makers in world cricket invited together for this conference. It's in its 2nd year. And I think the predominant concept behind it is to try and assist and instigate some change and positive developments in the global game. There was amazing presentations in the morning from the Boston Consulting C group on the current health of cricket, which is probably a bit more optimistic than some might have felt, and how that they can see an opportunity to grow the revenues of the sport rather significantly in the years to come. With the World Cricketers Association, with some fascinating stuff about what the players feel and what the players think from the countries that are allowed to have player unions. I think of the 20 teams at the T20 World Cup, maybe 14 or 15 of them had some kind of representation. And the feedback overwhelmingly was everyone wants more cricket with context, and I think there was a general consensus that people would love to see more of a narrative and an understandable element to international cricket, which we have in the associate game.
Yes.
That's something I kept saying to people. I said, well, hold on, you're talking about a lack of a narrative and somewhat meaningless bilateral cricket only up with the test nations. We have that in these brilliant ICC structures, particularly the ODI structures through Cricket World Cup League 2 and the Challenge League beneath it. But yeah, look, it was a fascinating day. I was part of a panel then in the afternoon discussing whether or not is cricket cool, which really, because of the strength of opinion in the morning on how and why we should be growing the game, turned into a discussion not just about that, but as to why it is so important to grow the game and why there are so many opportunities in the likes of the leading associates that we're covering here in Cricket World Cup League 2. 13 overs bowled at 61 for 3, but look, it was outstandingly well put on. It was just on a personal level, Mel, a huge honour to be asked there to kind of... I wasn't asked there in my capacity as an Irishman. I was asked there in my capacity as an associate cricket advocate. And, Mark Nicholas, who chaired the thing, called on me quite a bit to kind of speak about the non-test nations, and, the plight of Scotland's women not having any fixtures was spoken about, the lack of funding that so many of the leading associates suffer from, and the amateur nature of some of their setups as a consequence, and what they could do really with a few more crumbs from the global games table, let alone some significant financial investment, and how really it would be a massive win-win for all concerned. The game would expand and grow. There'd be more competitive teams in the world. We actually have quite a good structure up at the very top level now. We just need to be able to support those teams that are getting to the enlarged 20 and 14 Team World Cups in the men's game. And then we heard Craig Wallace talking, didn't we, on air earlier, about how he doesn't think 8 teams is enough in the Women's ODI World Cup. That should be more. We do go to 12 in the T20 World Cup. But yeah, some amazing people there. Mel Jones and Alison Mitchell, Isha Guer were there. Kane Williamson, Graham Smith. There was a huge number of people involved in the franchise game. And I think a lot of those involved in the franchise game were saying, we're really bringing some professionalism to our leagues, and some of those boards need to kind of come with us and join us for their bilateral cricket. Get fixtures announced earlier, get tickets on sale earlier, get a more understandable narrative. But yeah, I was kind of thinking that it might be the kind of day that might be a bit of an echo chamber and might not be overly positive or uplifting, but it was anything but. I don't know what will come from it, because the way the game is governed, it's the ICC that runs the game, and they're a members' body, so the members will have to kind of get on board with this, all of the different boards. But it just felt like there was a big appetite for positive change in the room, and also, overwhelmingly, there was a real feeling, Mel, that the game's actually in very rude health in many ways. We have 3 formats that are coexisting very nicely. That's a blessing in many ways. It's the envy of other sports. Other sports are looking for what can be their version of T20 cricket. So I thought it was a really uplifting day, as you rightly pointed out, a bit of a tiring 72 hours for me too. But yeah, hopefully alongside Trudy Lindblade and Wilf Walsh, who were there as Cricket Scotland representatives, and Paris Kadka, who was there, the Cricket Association of Nepal's secretary, who I actually, during